Welcome to the Friday edition of Juan's World, and we're now exactly a week before Christmas. Christmas falls on a Friday this year. That means that I have the option, I guess, of not posting a video on Christmas Day, but I'm going to for two reasons. One, because I'm kind of driven, and the other because I'm alone and I'll be celebrating Christmas alone. So why not make a video of what I'm doing on Christmas Day? I think it'll be informative in some ways. It won't be like my normal videos, but we'll see. On Tuesday, I think I'm going to make mince pies. I will talk about making mincemeat, and I'll talk a little bit about the history of why it's called mince meat. The simple answer is that it used to have meat in it, and it still does, and I have made it with meat. But for today, I want to talk about the so-called war on Christmas in relation to a particular abbreviation, the use of Xmas instead of Christmas. And that abbreviation gets a lot of people upset, and I'm here to tell you there is no reason to be upset. It's a very old abbreviation with very good reason for being that particular abbreviation. Let's wander down the spelling path. Now, the standard misunderstanding of the thing that looks like an X at the beginning of what looks like Xmas is that it's not an X. It represents the Greek letter chi. And for centuries, certainly going back into the early Middle Ages, the abbreviation of Christ was the symbol chi rho. Now, chi looks like an X and rho looks like a P. So here you can see one of the standard ways that the chi rho was combined, as the rho runs through the middle of the chi and got very, very, very fanciful. Here's the Book of Kells with a very famous illumination of chi rho at the beginning of one of the Gospels. And so what happened was that to abbreviate Christmas originally, people would write chi rho mass. So it was understood that chi rho meant Christ, and so chi rho mass was Christmas. Not a problem. Same as when we see ST, we pronounce it saint. It's in fact one of the funniest things about living here in Phnom Penh. My original Khmer lessons were at a place called St. Clement's Institute. And first time I tried to get there to meet the owner, I got lost because GPS in Cambodia is hopeless. So I called her up and I said, "Where are you?" And she said, "We're at St. Clement's." And I said, "What?" She said, "Yes, St. Clement's." And I said, "Oh, you mean St. Clement's?" And she said, "Yes, but we don't like to pronounce saint because that's Christian and we're not Christian." And I had to explain, you don't have to be a Christian to have a place named St. Clement's. You can have a street St. Clement's, or hers was the St. Clement's Institute. It's not Christian. But anyway, when you see an abbreviation, you don't say, in that case, ST, you say Saint. And so if you see Chi Rho Mass, you read it as Christmas. Well, in the days before movable type, people could write Chi Rho Mass, and it was fine. But once they had movable type, they didn't have the character Chi Rho, and so they just used Chi. But Chi and X look exactly the same, and there's the confusion. So when evangelical preachers say, we cannot spell it as Xmas because X means the unknown and Jesus is known, so we have to say Christ Mass, not X Mass. It's not X. It's not X or any of the associations of X, like the unknown. It's just an abbreviation. So that's one, perhaps, mystery cleared up. Here's another one. You will often see, and this goes back a long way, you'll often see on, let's say, a shop sign, you'll see what looks like ye, like Y-E. And you'll also often see old spelt with an E at the end. And so people who don't know any better will pronounce it as ye oldie. Well, we can dispense with the oldie first. The E is silent. It was a way, like the silent E in modern English, of indicating that the first vowel was long. O, so old. The ye bit is slightly more tricky. Now, you're probably at least dimly aware that the English alphabet does not correspond exactly with the sounds of English. Some sounds are absent from the alphabet, and some letters have to do double duty, and some letters are in fact not necessary. For example, the letter C is not necessary, even though it does double duty. It has two sounds, a k sound, as in Celtic, and a soft S sound, as in my mind is drawing a blank these days. Cease. Oh, thank goodness. The C is soft before E and I, and hard before all the other vowels, and before consonants, which comes directly from French. It's the same in French. Somewhat similar in Italian as well. But that also means that we can properly pronounce double C depending on what follows the double C. So, for example, success, the first C is K and the second C is S because it's followed by an E. But the double C in tobacco is hard because the second C is followed by an O. And that also explains why your tailbone is pronounced coccyx, because the Y stands for an I, so it's C-O-C, the first C followed by second C, first C is K, second C is S, coccyx. But you don't need any of that, because the K sound and the S sound are already covered by other letters. Same with X. That's in fact the K and the S sound together. You could pronounce you could spell axe, A-K-S, axe. What's the problem? It's all to do with the history of the alphabet. More importantly, there are certain sounds in English that don't have single letters, such as ch, sh, and th, or its voiced form, the. It's like thing and this. But the Anglo-Saxon alphabet did have letters for them. They were thorn and eth, and I'll show you them here. Now, this part I don't quite understand, but it should have been with an ez, because it's the voiced the, but it was typically spelt with a thorn. So it was thorn e, the. But when movable type hit the country, or hit England, they didn't have a thorn. And so before they came to the decision to use the TH, they used a Y, because or at least the Y in the typescripts that they had at the time was very close to what the thorn looked like. And that then got translated back into the way people wrote. They started writing the thorn as a Y when they were doing things like shop signs and pub signs. And so you get this, what looks like ye oldie, but it should be pronounced the old. Same as we would pronounce it if it was spelled in the modern way. Now, to finish for today, I made some cockaliki soup. I've given the recipe before. It's just basically chicken boiled to make a stock with leeks, as the name suggests. And it's a very important Christmas favorite for mine, because my father used to make it every Christmas Eve, and I make it every Christmas. A little bit jumping the gun this year, but still good. And I realized as I was making the cockaliki that on Christmas Eve I'm going to do something along the lines of 7 fishes, as well as mince pies and sausage rolls. A lot of food. So on Tuesday, as well as mincemeat, I'm probably going to also talk about the 7 fishes. I'm not quite sure yet. I have my 7 fishes already, and I mostly know what I'm going to do, but I don't entirely know, and that's an awful lot of fishes for one man. So meanwhile, please tell your friends about my videos, please like and subscribe, and I hope your Christmas preparations are going splendidly, and I'll see you for cooking on Tuesday.